Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, special guests here. But first, let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard. Hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. High today only 78, not even getting up in the 80s, so we do have that little cooling trend. Low's going to be 60 tonight, so that I know that makes us all feel good. Water temperature at the end of the pier is going to be 77 degrees, so that's still been steady for like 2 weeks now, 77. Our river read is brought to us by the good folks at Panama City Coca-Cola. The Apalachicola Bluntstown of 4.3 steady. And the Choctaw at Caryville dropping back on out, 2.6, and we just didn't get a lot of that rain up in the watershed, so it's not going to be going up too much. Tide chart, brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Last day of neap tides, but man, look at the rest of this week, and next week you're talking about some strong tides coming in, be some great fishing. Our actual low tide this morning is 3:45 and high at 7:30. Wind coming pretty strong, straight out of the east at 10 to 20. Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back and welcome to one of our familiar guests here. We always enjoy having Officer Travis Bassford. We're sitting here talking about fishing and telling us here some fishing stories, and we'll get to those. Welcome back. Good to see you, buddy.
Glad to be here as always.
He and Nicole had a wonderful trip, but we'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about some FWC. Always on the second Wednesday of the month, we like to have the FWC coming on, and Chris couldn't make it, so Travis is so good about filling in. So Travis, what's been going on?
Yes, sir. Well, a lot of things. I mean, we're kind of winding down on fishing, but the water temps stayed up for November. We've had some warm days, people getting out, taking advantage of fall red snapper, taking advantage of some really good bay fishing. And then, of course, we have all our hunting seasons going on. We've had a really successful phase one of dove. We've had archery open up for deer and seeing some people get some nice deer, get some nice bucks. So we're just hoping it'll cool down a little bit, and I think that'll be welcomed by all the hunters. But no, just staying busy. We're staying really busy. Last time I was on, we talked about hurricane response, and just our officers it's a very busy time of the year for us. So.
Yes, it is. I see them out all the time and hear from them. I know it's busy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And just some things I wanted to talk about on the show and for us to discuss. We talked so much during the break about things, but some exciting news, and I know Chris has probably touched on this, but now we're getting into kind of the meat of hunting season. Before we come on again, we'll have General Gun opening on Thanksgiving Day for those 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But in Deer Management Unit 2, which is north of I-10 in the Northwest region. The big news this year, first off in the CWD zone, they're allowing feeding, which was different from last year.
Okay.
So as we know, that's red, especially when deer get in close quarters contact and at feeding stations and things like that. But thankfully, after that one positive test, we have not had another one. We're going to continue to test. I say we, FWC is an agency, but they're allowing feeding in that zone, which is the portions of Holmes and Jackson County. But the big news this year is we had an extended harvest last year, but in Deer Management Unit 2, which is north of 10, they're going to allow 3 antlerless deer or does to be taken during the season, and you can any day during the season you can take them. So there's not going to be the established doe days or antlerless deer days that we've had in years past. So anytime during that open season you can take your antlerless deer, and then again your total can be 3, whereas for the rest of the state no more than 2. So allowing an extra deer, and then really by it extending throughout the entire season, it just gives more opportunity to harvest up there in that zone.
That's good news for that area. They can feed them now, and they can take 3 does. Good news.
Yes, and so a lot of hunters excited about that. We had the Executive Order 2406. It was signed by the Executive Director back in April, authorizing these things and actually spelling out. You can go online and look at it. But your importation and taking deer out and in that zone is still going to be off limits. And then, of course, for our hunters that like to hunt up in Alabama and Georgia, or even farther north than that, anything brought back in has to be finished taxidermy or deboned meat. We can't have any, whole deer coming back from out of state. So, but yeah, I think a lot of people are excited. It's been a really warm bow season so far. I think we're supposed to get some cooler weather later in the week. But have seen some people, get some nice deer already. So, what have you seen?
Well, I know, I spoke about ducks yesterday, and it just hadn't been cold enough to bring the ducks down. I know we're getting ready for a good duck season, and also some quail. There's been some good quail shoots
that's cool.
on some areas, and some stuff coming up this weekend on a tower shoot over there in Calhoun County. We talked about that big tower shoot. Have you ever been on one of those?
I've heard about it. I've never been on one.
I'm the same way. I've heard about them. I've been invited to it. I think I'm going to run up there and just check it out. It's going to be interesting to do that. It's pheasants, and it's all, you put people around in a circle.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of it.
They let all kinds of stuff go, don't they?
Oh, the pheasants and chukar and just all kind of stuff.
Now, are you going to get to hunt, or are you going to film?
Well, that's always a question on Panhandle Outdoors when I get invited. But David Tatum is just such a gentleman. He wants me to hunt. And I told him I also want to film some of it. So hopefully we'll get a little mixture of all. I would like to take a shot at them. This is funny now because I'm a 20 gauge guy, right?
Right.
I'm bird shooting, I'm always 20 gauge, and they're recommending you bring a 12 gauge up there.
Really?
Well, that's what I said.
Okay.
And so that's interesting. And high brass, they said those big old pheasants are pretty strong birds. And, and it's not like shooting a dove coming across the field.
That's true.
So
yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see.
You'd have a little more pellets there with the 12 gauge and knock them down. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Be right back with Officer Travis Bassford. Okay, welcome back. Sitting here with Travis Bassford, always good enough to come on the show and talk about all these interesting things. We want to finish up with information. We have some great pictures on a great trip that went on, but let's finish up on this FWC information we have now, Travis.
Sure. So we went over kind of the changes in the CWD zone, and again, I would encourage everyone, if you have any more questions, you can go to myfwc.com, click on hunting, and look at the CWD regulations, or you can actually pull up the executive order. And actually go through it and see the changes and see what actually stayed the same as last year. So another great opportunity we have coming up, probably before we come on the show, we have that youth deer hunt, which is going to be in between what we call the Thanksgiving split and then opening of General Gun. That's going to be for D1 and D2, both zones here in the Northwest region, December 7th and 8th. It's a great opportunity to get the youth out there. It's 15 and under, and of course the antler restrictions are back to the 5 inches, and then they can also take an antlerless deer as well. Just encouraging people to take the youth out, introduce them to the great sport of hunting. So great opportunity to have there. Fall turkey opened up when archery opened up, and then the gun season's going to open up. It kind of runs coherent with the deer seasons, November 28th through December 1st, which is kind of the Thanksgiving, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then for gun on turkey, it'll open again December 14th, run through January 19th, and again, your season limit is 2. A reminder on turkey for fall, the hunter has to be at least 100 yards away from a feeding station where feed's present. So if you have corn out for a deer at, say, 80 or 100 yards, and a turkey walks out, you can't take the turkey. If you're hunting naturally and you don't have any bait, and you can take your turkey. So just a reminder there. And then again, we had a really successful phase 1 of dove. We're going to be closed right now, and then phase 2 is going to open up. It did open up actually November 9th, and it'll run through December 1st. So we kind of had a little break, and we know we have the 3 phases there for dove. So in phase 2 right now on dove. So
yeah, you got to squeeze it in. It's amazing how. And it should be more dove coming the second time.
We should, yeah. We should have some of those migratory birds coming down. Again, we just need a little cooler weather. It's been unseasonably warm, really all over for October and November. So, yeah, it's just been busy. And then just a reminder for everybody as well. I know Chris talks about this every time, and we just had such a long season. But red snapper still open on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. People are going out, taking advantage of that, weather permitting. This last weekend was a little bumpy. We had that kind of east wind. But One thing that's going to be different is it's Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays through the end of November, but Thanksgiving Day, which is a Thursday, if you like to fish, you don't like to hunt, or you want to go out, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on that final weekend will be open.
And that's the final weekend then?
That
right?
will be it. That will close it out. So.
That's good. Yeah, we've been getting good pictures almost every weekend. Some nice snapper being caught. It's been nice.
Yeah, as long as it's not blowing a gale, and we had those storms, then people are getting out and really taking advantage of it. It's cooler. I haven't had a chance to go out, but I've heard about a lot of people going.
Well, what I'm seeing is not a lot of big boats going out. It's small boats going out, just going out there not too far off and catching one or two and bring them home to eat.
Exactly, and the pressure's down from them, and you don't have near as many people going after them in the fall as you do in the summertime.
Right.
So, and then the last thing on fishing, real quick, flounder. We have had several cases made. It's the closure. This has been going on for 3 or 4 years now. They bumped flounder size limit up to 14, but then they put the closure. It's closed annually from October 15th through November 30th. I know that causes a lot of heartburn with a lot of people wanting to gig, but that is the rule. So until November 30th, flounder remains closed.
So you can go gigging on December the 1st. Get on out there December 1st. That's all legal. We've had some great pictures sent in of catch and release flounder, but I think most people know the law now, knowing what the season is. So that's good.
Yes, sir. Yep,
okay,
absolutely.
That's good. Okay. Listen, we got a couple of pictures coming up that y'all sent me last night. You and Nicole are celebrating a birthday and anniversary. What all was going on?
Yes, sir. We went out there celebrating 12th wedding anniversary and also her birthday, and did a trip out there to British Columbia.
You did this big time, this celebration. So tell us where you are.
No, it was nice. This is out at the mouth of the Fraser River near Vancouver, Canada. So British Columbia, beautiful country out there, and these are coho salmon that we caught. Went out on a charter, had a great guide, and a great time. Weird thing, like I was telling Coach, is I looked at the depth machine when we get out there. Most of the time, I thought you think about fishing for salmon, it's up a river or a creek, and you've got either a fly rod or a spinner rod. We were fishing in 300 feet of water.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we were trolling down 70 to 90 feet and catching these salmon. So it was a good time.
What were you trolling with? Just a big spoon?
So they had like a flasher, and then we caught some on a spoon, and then some on like a little squid bait. Yeah. Is what they were eating.
That's interesting. You tell a story real quick about the farm raised and all compared to.
Sure. Yeah. So they got different regulations just like we do. These are actually hatchery fish that they release from a hatchery, but we caught wild salmon as well. And this time of year, the wild salmon fishery was closed for coho. But we were able to keep hatchery fish. So we had like an Airbnb, kept some of those fish, and that's the best salmon we've ever had. It was fresh, Pacific salmon. So.
All right, look at some of the views y'all had. Look at this. This is awesome.
And we did some hiking as well. This is up Glacier Lake there, a couple hours northeast of Vancouver, Joffrey Lake. And it's just beautiful country out there. I mean, you can see, the water, and you had the snow in the mountains. It was great hiking weather too, like low 40s.
Yeah.
And then as you get up, it gets cooler in elevation. So, and that's just the guy cleaning some of the fish. Pretty fillets there, and
that was good.
Really good. Yep, it was really good. So, had a good time, and that, like I say, is some of the prettiest country I've ever seen. Yeah. Up there in British Columbia.
You fought one for a little while, find out you couldn't raise. What happened with that?
I did, yeah. So, and again, I'm asking about the fishery and regulations, and of course, we did our own research as well. An interesting thing out there, unlike Florida, is you do have to buy your own license, even though they're a charter. Whereas Florida, your charter. If they're a licensed charter, it covers the angler. But no, I brought a pretty nice one up to the boat, and he's kind of flouncing around there at the edge, and that's when the fish gets off. He's at the surface, and finally I said, "Hey, are you gonna net that fish, or are we gonna let him get off?" And he said, "Well, I'm checking to see if it was a wild caught salmon, because they actually cut the end of the dorsal fin of the hatchery fish, and the wild ones don't have any cut in them." So he's able to look as that fish comes alongside the boat. He looks at that back fin and sees, hey, is this a wild fish or a hatchery? And the wild ones you have to let go. Yeah. And finally, he said, "Well, I'm checking to make sure," because he had the net right there, to see if it's wild. And I finally said, "Well, I would like a picture of that fish if you don't mind, because I've never caught a salmon, Yeah. So he ended up netting the fish. We got a good picture and released it. But pretty cool. There's all kinds of salmon out there. We saw sea lions, seals. It was
beautiful country, though. I just saw pictures.
Yeah, it was. And that Fraser River is like what a lot of people hear the Columbia River down in Washington, Oregon area. That's one of the biggest breeding grounds for salmon on the West Coast is the Fraser and the Columbia River. So really cool, unique fishery over there, and
very good.
And had a good time.
Happy anniversary, happy birthday to Nicole, and that's great. All right, let's take our final break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. 8:23 to 10:23, and tonight 8:49 to 10:49. Show you one more quick picture of that big. He did catch a big fish, and we got a picture right here. I took it off his phone right there. So that's a nice one, Travis.
That was one we had to let go.
Yeah.
You can't really see, but that back fin is intact. So that's a wild one, and they were closed. But he was super knowledgeable, really good guide. Because you have the coho salmon, you have the Chinook, which is like what they call the king salmon, and then you had pink salmon. We caught a little bit of everything. So it was really a cool fishery, and it was neat to do something different. I mean, we're used to saltwater, freshwater stuff around here, but they're strict on their regulations out there as well.
And that's why they have a healthy population. They have good regulation. I've heard that before. Yep. Okay, let's get into our case of the month. It's always an entertaining time with the show. So what's going on?
Oh, well, our guys have been out there. Guys and girls have been super busy making a lot of cases, both on the hill and on the water. And I wanted to highlight one from Walton County. This is going to be back during phase 1 of Dove. Lieutenant Taylor Tyson in Walton County, and our K-9 officer over there, Michael Graves, and his K-9 Timber. We're on patrol Walton County. They hear what sounded like a dove shoot going on later on in the hunt, and in the afternoon they conduct a resource inspection, and 2 of the hunters were over the bag limit on doves, and we can have 15 per hunter. One had 19, one had 22. And upon further inspection, the K-9, after searching the immediate area around the hunters, was able to locate 2 additional doves that were hidden in the woods as well. So these guys knew what they were doing. They were still actively hunting, already over the bag limit, and had hid some more. So they were issued citations for over the bag limit of doves. And a great job by Lieutenant Tyson and K-9 Officer Michael Graves over there in Walton County.
Good job. Yeah, the Tyson family have been there a good while, and he's a good officer.
Yep. And really, that's just an example too. Our canines are trained in a lot of different areas, but that dog able to use his nose, his training, and being able to locate those additional doves. And people they'll throw guns on us. They'll hide deer, they'll hide ducks, they'll hide doves, and having the dog there can help reveal some of that additional evidence and hold these people accountable. So great job by those guys, and great job by the K-9 there over in Walton County.
Yeah, you're right. Those dogs have added a lot to law enforcement and also game law enforcement. Yeah,
they have, and they help us with the criminal side of things, but they also help in search and rescue. A lot of our dogs are labs. This is a black lab, K-9 Timber, but on the man tracking part of it, if somebody runs from us or another agency, we can help apprehend that person by using the dog. But they can also help, like say we've had this in San Andreas State Park, some of our other management areas where we have people go missing or a child goes missing, and they're able to get on a track and use their nose and use their training to find a missing child or a missing person as well. So just a really good asset to the team, and a good program we got going on with the K-9.
That's great. Okay, overall, has it been a pretty good fall so far? Or
it has. Like I said, we had the 2 hurricanes in particular, back-to-back, Helene and Milton, and had a lot of guys and girls there, officers from the Northwest region going and assisting. And I know I shared a few things last time I was on the show. Chris Boley has shared some things, so we're thankful. It's been a really busy hurricane season for Florida, and we're glad that's wrapping up because it affected a lot of people and affected a lot of parts of the state. So I would say the hunting. I want to encourage everyone. Be safe out there hunting this year, and if you haven't been through a hunter safety course, even if you're not required to, we recommend it. And then that youth hunt too. If you get the opportunity to take a child out and let them experience the great outdoors, we encourage that. So.
And another thing too, you know, we have just a great shooting range over here in West Bay, and I'll take advantage of even somebody like me. I'm going out pretty soon and shoot some more. I haven't shot my rifle. I got a new rifle. I want to shoot it, so I'd encourage you to just go out and that's a great range.
It is.
Out there.
It is, and yeah, you can shoot the long guns, the pistols, whatever. And really, if you go out there during the week, it's not crowded.
Right.
And you got time to do whatever you need to do. So you're gonna take your gun out there inside?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow. But I got a new gun and all. But Santa Claus came early, but we'll talk about that. But
there you go.
We're looking forward to it. So got about a minute or two left. All you guys and girls, they're staying pretty busy, they aren't they? I know.
It is, yeah. It's just kind of a transition season to where we're starting to get in the woods a lot more. But again, because of the warmer temperatures and the water temp, I mean, for November, we're pretty warm. You know, pompano on the beaches, Spanish coming back through, speckled trout and redfish in the bay. I mean, people are still getting out because it's nice, you know, and it's warm. So. And
I know always this time of year, we've talked about it before, these night hunters, this is when the weather cools down, they're going out. So y'all keep your eyes and ears open and give them a call when you hear a gunshot at 11 o'clock at night.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, as a citizens, all this is something we just need to do, stay on top of.
Absolutely, and we've talked a lot in the past about Wildlife Alert. It's a great program where you can actually get a cash reward if you give us information that leads to a case or an arrest. If you see something that's not right or hear something that's not right, like you say, you hear 2 rifle shots there at midnight, 2 a.m., let us know because we can't be everywhere, and we want to hold those people accountable because they're taking the resource away from the people that are trying to do it right and ethically.
Well, y'all do a great service in preserving our wildlife, and we need to do our share too, helping out. And if you see something, say something, or hear something, say something.
That's it.
Well, Travis, congratulations on that trip. That was a fun trip, I know.
That was. It was fun.
And also, thanks for coming on, filling in for Chris.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. So
glad to be here anytime.
We'll see one of y'all next month.
Absolutely.
Thank you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Y'all, thank you for watching our show this morning. We appreciate your viewership. Y'all do something good for someone else. Enjoy the outdoors, and let's take care of it. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.